Good evening, everyone. It's Weather United, and welcome back to another video, as it's been quite a while since I made a video on the YouTube channel. We're going to be talking about this very intense upper-level low-pressure system moving into the Pacific Northwest and then eventually across much of the west coast of the U.S., bringing very heavy snowfall, blizzard-like conditions, strong winds, stormy conditions, and then we're going to be tracking this storm as it moves into the northern plains, bringing blizzard conditions, strong winds, and maybe some severe weather. Here's a detailed look at the College of DuPage satellite imagery, and we can see where this cold air is currently located, and it's off the Washington and Oregon coast, as we can see by all these percolating popcorn-like clouds. This means we have a lot of cold air aloft, and when you have that, we get instability because these ocean waters are still relatively warm than the air above it, and so we get that instability. We get that unstable atmosphere, and we can see where a lot of that coldest air is based on a lot of these popcorn-like clouds that are moving from northwest to southeast. We have been having some lightning strikes, some small hail, and some very strong erratic wind gusts and water spouts. This is all headed into Oregon, Washington, as well as California, and we're expecting some really rough weather over the next 3 to 4 days. We're going to time this out with great detail on the European model for who is going to get the heaviest snowfall, who's going to get the heaviest rainfall, the strong winds, and the stormiest conditions. And then we're going to be looking at how much snowfall you could see, and then we're going to be looking at those temperatures, because temperatures are going to go well below average with record low temperatures and even some record low daytime highs for many areas across the west, including for Western Canada. So let's take a look here at Monday morning. This is actually 4 in the mornings because we turned our clocks back an hour. So now instead of 12Z being at 5 in the morning, 12Z is now at 4 in the morning. So hopefully that doesn't confuse you too much. So by that time in the morning hours of Monday, moderate to heavy snowfall over Washington, over Oregon, over California. Look at that, the Sierras, over northern Nevada, Idaho, Montana. Also for Wyoming, we're looking at quite a bit of snowfall to start off your morning. So if you're leaving for work early in the morning, make sure you allow plenty of time to get to your destination, because the snow, the wind is really going to be whipping, and it's going to lead to blizzard-like conditions, even some whiteout conditions for the higher terrain of the Sierra especially. But otherwise, look at much of the country looking pretty good. But it's this system that's over the Intermountain West, which is going to give the northern plains a big glancing blow with very intense heavy snowfall. Take a look at this. So the second impulse of moisture moves into California again, so more renewed effect of heavy snowfall, strong winds, heavy rainfall, thunderstorms, and more snow for, again, the northern central Rockies, including for southern Canada. You can see that there. But more importantly, let's go forward here into Wednesday morning. So that's Wednesday morning. So if you're in Nevada, California, inclement weather is still expected. But then look at this. By Thursday morning, at around, say, 6 in the morning, Central Time, Mountain Time would be about 5 in the morning. Look at the snowfall. Very heavy snowfall that is anticipated, because we have a lot of baroclinic dynamics that are going to be coming into play here. We got the very cold air to the north that is going to be wanting to sag further south. We have warm air advection out ahead of this, and you can see where the low pressure is right here. Very classic overall dynamic setup here. Southerly flow here, northerly flow here, and that's going to lead to a collision of these two air masses, very cold air meeting very moist air and warm air, and that's going to really squeeze out a lot of this moisture. And there could be the threat for some thunderstorms, and there could be severe weather on the warm sector side of this, where the warm front especially is. And so going forward, look at this. My goodness, on the European model, moderate to heavy rain or snowfall, that's going to be dumping. That's dark blue colors. That is snowfall rates on the order of, say, about 1 to 3 inches an hour, maybe getting close to 5 inches an hour, maybe even 6 inches. And that's going to lead to blizzard conditions, whiteout conditions, you name it. We're going to have wind gusts up and over 50 to 60 miles an hour. We have the cold front that's going to be located here. We have the warm front that's going to be located there. So a very dynamic. We have a kind of an occluded front that is going to be just to the west of that. This is going to continue to be a big problem by Thursday, by Friday, 5 days out on the European model. Look at that. That is a monster. That's a menacing winter storm. Very tight isobars there. A indication we are going to have some really strong winds on this system. And that's going to continue to move into, say, Ontario and Quebec, Canada by the weekend of November 12th and the 13th, with another system moving into California that might cause more problems for the northern plains. But that is for another time. That's still quite a ways away for that next system that may get into the plains. So very dynamic setup. And the reason why we have this pattern is because of the jet stream. This is what is going to end up happening. So of course we have this deep trough back west, very deep, 540 decameters. It's even more deeper on the GFS model. Take a look at this. We have a 543. In fact, if we just go back a little bit, 537 decameter height. And you probably don't understand this very much, but it's another way extrapolating different air masses in the atmosphere. In other words, from looking at the surface to looking in the mid-levels. So pretty self-explanatory, but the lower heights you get, the deeper the trough is, the more cold air you get, the more instability, the more energy you get with a trough that ejects. And especially when it's this far south, there's going to be a lot of energy. And so when we look at this on the GFS model, we can see there is the perturbation right here. Very strong upper level energy ejecting off of New Mexico, off the Rockies, moving into the high plains by Thursday. The severe weather side of this is going to be very conditional. I'm not going to get into too much detail of that because there is going to probably be an EML. There's going to be more more of that. We're also going to have some limited moisture return, and that's a little bit of uncertain. We're going to have some sort of severe weather, but probably a marginal risk at the very most. Maybe a slight risk for severe weather, but we're not anticipating a moderate risk of any kind with this setup because this low is too north and it's well removed from the Gulf of Mexico. And this time of the year, it's very, very conditional because we get more of this polar air that comes out of Canada that tends to take over this type of pattern. And so please understand that when you look at these maps. All right, so as far as our snowfall accumulations go, this is going to be something to be weary of if you're in the Sierra Mountains. So we're going to kind of go from west to east, okay, into the northern plains. And we can see here over the higher elevations, we're looking at 2 to 4 feet of snowfall. Yeah, there's 59 inches right there. So that says it all. Very heavy snowfall for the Sierra Crest. For the northern portion there of California over the Cascades, going to get quite a bit of snow. That includes for Oregon, for Washington. Moderate to heavy snowfall is anticipated for these areas. So winter storm warnings, you name it. We could see blizzard warnings out of this kind of deal because we have a lot of wind, we have a lot of energy, and snow on top of wind really causes mega whiteout conditions. So keep that in mind. And then, of course, we're looking at quite a bit of snowfall for the Dakotas, for Montana, for Wyoming, up across northern Minnesota, where you might see as much as 1 to 2 feet of snowfall. Now, I am very luxurious here of seeing 41 inches, and what I mean by that is this is pretty aggressive, very bullish on the European model. The GFS has a similar output here of snowfall totals. So either way you put it, we're going to see a lot. More than a foot of snow is very likely over the Dakotas, which again, with the strong winds that you're anticipating, you're expecting blizzard conditions. On top of the cold air, there are going to be wind chill warnings or wind chill advisories. So this is the type of weather system that's going to make a huge change. 70s, close to 80-degree temperatures down there across Sioux Falls, Sioux City, into Iowa. After this thing rolls through, it's going to be a whole lot different ball game. The whole weather pattern is just going to take a big flip on the other side of things. So here's a look at those temperature anomalies really quickly. So we can see, of course, much colder temperatures. We are talking about some record low temperatures, record low daytime highs, which means your daytime highs could be the coldest for that particular day of the month or of the week, right? In other words, so we could see some of those, especially over California, over Montana. It's very cold temperatures on Tuesday, but look at this. I mean, you're going to see some well above average temperatures up across the high plains into the northern plains out ahead of this system that's going to develop. And I mean, look at this. By Thursday morning, my goodness, you're going to have temperatures that could be 20 to 30 degrees above normal. And just put this into perspective, let's go to the 2-meter temperature. Look at that. You're going to see some upper 60s for your overnight lows. How about that? That is very, very untypical for early November. And it's going to feel like literally like mid or late September for some standards. Not going to even feel like winter at all because of this pattern. And then that low moves through, and then whoa, where is a well above average temperatures? By next weekend, huge pattern change. Temperatures 30 to 40 degrees below average in Montana over the Dakotas, and that's going to continue all the way into next weekend of November the 13th and the 14th. So a big pattern change is coming, just not right now. So here's a look at your daytime highs. We're just going to fast forward this. Let's go right here all the way into Wednesday, and look at these temperatures, upper 70s, low 80s for the most part for the Midwest, for the deep South, very warm, while California, Nevada, and the Pacific Northwest, including Canada, going to have well below average temperatures. In fact, we may see temperatures in the upper 40s to low 50s here locally in the Central Valley, and then that continues. So by Thursday, it is going to be very warm, but look at this front as it rolls through. Big flip with the temperatures here. You're going to go from the 70s to the 20s in the matter of 12 to 24 hours. So a big change with those temperatures, and that's going to continue. Look at this. Some negative temperatures out there, negative 10, negative 20 degrees by next weekend. So some very cold record low temperatures are anticipated. On top of that, it might feel like negative 30, negative 40 degrees because that wind on top of those cold temperatures, it is going to feel a whole lot different than the weekend that you just experienced there in the northern plains. So a huge flipperoo with the weather pattern that is coming, all because of this very wild, extreme polar vortex that is rolling across the area. And in other words, let's just take a look at that. So of course, we got the trough that's back west, very strong upper level ridge over the Great Lakes. That's responsible for these very warm, well above average temperatures. And that trough moves through, and then the whole pattern ball game does change quite a bit because of that trough that rolls through. So it won't last for too long. Don't worry. Get your jackets ready. Get your coats out because you're wearing flip-flops. You're wearing tank tops, you're wearing short sleeve shirts and shorts. You're going to be putting those away very soon. So any yard work needs to be done with completion as fast as possible because as soon as this pattern changes, it might as well stay pretty chilly for the rest of November. That's going to do with this forecast, everyone. If you did like this video and you want to stay on the chilly side and stay alert on my channel, consider subscribing, hit that like button, and share this video with your family and friends on social media. As always, I am blessed to do this. Even so, I am going to be visiting my grandpa at the hospital tomorrow. Today, I didn't go because I wanted to go to church. Don't worry, I still care about my grandpa with the fullest of the love of his heart. But I will be going up there tomorrow and visiting him just like I did yesterday and the day before. Nothing has changed with that. I am possibly going to cancel my lunar eclipse due to that kind of ordeal that is taking place, all right? And you got to understand that, all right? I'm still thinking about it. I'm not sure what my game plan is late tomorrow night into Tuesday, but either way, I don't think I'll have anything out on Tuesday since it's Election Day Tuesday. All right, love you guys, and I'll be back with you more with weather content extremely soon. Stay tuned!